What's up guys, I'm Connell, and today I'm going to try and make a full-fledged gaming PC out of parts I got for free at the dump.
Back from the dead.
So anybody who lives in Massachusetts or any of the eastern states will know that there are recycling centers. These are places where you bring your trash, they take it, and do whatever they want with it. So we have a couple of those where I live, and one of them in a nearby town happens to have a really good supply of computers. My first gaming computer was from there, and the only part I had to buy was the graphics card. It completely works. And recently, I went to the same recycling center again, and I found a bunch of computers and somehow a couple performance parts too. So today I've got all of those together, and we're going to try and build a full-fledged, light, crappy gaming PC out of these free trash parts. So first up we have the PC. This is a Lenovo ThinkStation from God knows what year, and it kind of looks like someone tried to paint it and then failed. So yeah, this isn't much. It's just the case and the motherboard and a couple cables. So most of the parts that actually allow it to run are going to be from the dump. So yeah. Next up we have the graphics card. This is a GC430, which I pulled out of a Dell PC. And luckily for me, it has a small form factor cover on it, which is the only thing that'll fit in the case we have. Now for the heart of the build. This is an i5-4670 that we pulled out of a similar Lenovo desktop that was completely wrecked. The only thing that was working was this and I think the hard drive. As far as any extra parts go, we have these two fans, which the case will only fit to, the motherboard and a fan on the front, which were both pulled out of the same PC. I think it was like a Dell or an HP from like 2010. And then also we have the hard drive. So in the case, there's no obvious mounting for a hard drive, so what I resorted to was this. This is the only bought part I have. However, you can also get one of these out of another laptop. This is a 1 terabyte Seagate hard drive that was, I think it was like $20. These things are really cheap. So yeah, that's everything we need. And one thing I didn't include is the SATA cable. That's for the hard drive, but most computers have it in them, and this one had the cable in it. So yeah, let's get on to the build. So the first thing I want to take care of is this paint. Luckily, it looks like it's Plasti-Dip, which means I can just peel it off or scrape it off. So we have our knife, and I'm just going to scrape all this off and make it look kind of new again. Okay, so after peeling it off, it's actually kind of looking decent again. Although there's still these little scratch marks from where the previous owner cut, like, I don't know, a stencil. Kind of looks cool. It's like a karambit knife. So yeah, let's open it up and start putting in the parts. So upon looking, it's decent. It's pretty clean. There's a couple of cobwebs in the corner. But what I'm mainly interested in is this power supply. It's an 80 plus bronze. This is a 220 watt power supply. So yeah, I actually am pretty faithful in this. This is looking pretty decent now. One thing that is missing is the RAM. So I'm going to go grab that from my stash of RAM downstairs. So after searching a bit, I found this 4GB DDR3 stick downstairs. So we're just going to slot that in, and there we go, RAM's done. Next thing up, we're going to put the core in. So we have our i5, and funky thing about this is i5s are normally dual core, right? This is a quad core. So yeah, it looks like it might actually be able to do some stuff. So we're just going to drop that in, close this up, and I'm going to go grab some thermal paste because it would be really stupid to put the fan on without thermal paste. Okay, so we have our thermal paste, and for those of you who don't know, this thermal paste, the purpose of it is it connects the core core to the cooler so there isn't any open air, and that makes the cooling more efficient. The thermal paste I'm going to use is this Insignia stuff, which you can get at Best Buy for about $2 to $3. So we're just going to put a little dab on here, and there we go. Thermal paste is done. Next up, we can work on the cooling. So this cooler was pulled out of an old Dell or HP, I don't really remember, but it's going to be oriented like this. You just plop it in there, make sure all the screws line up, and then you can screw it in. Okay, so that's the CPU fan hooked up. Now we can do the front case fan. Normally these computers would only come with the CPU fan, however, there is an open spot, so I grabbed this out of the same Dell computer, and we're going to put it into a little spot right here. The first thing we have to do is take off this front cover, which is pretty easy, because all you have to do is undo these front 3 clips, and it just kind of pulls off. Now all we need to do is stick this in the front right here, make sure all the holes line up, and now we can just screw it in. Obviously, you're supposed to use 4 screws, but I have 1. With the intention of making it so tight that the fan can't move. So when you get your fans, if you do get a fan like this, it'll come with 4 screws if you buy the fan, or even if you pull it off of another computer. But for some reason, the HP I pulled this out of only came with 1 screw, and I could not be bothered to go search for 4 more screws through all the computers that were there. So I'm just going to screw this 1 screw in and hope for the best. So because of the tight quarters, the fan can't really move that much, which is good. So all we need to do now is plug the front case fan in, and there. Now we have 2 fans, but 3 in total if we include the fan that's in the power supply. So yeah, now all we need to do is put in the graphics card and hard drive, and then theoretically we're good to go if this thing boots up. So after finding some very shiny duct tape down in the basement, we can just take a piece off, if I can rip it, put it on the hard drive, and normally you shouldn't put tape over the circuits, but this is a cheap laptop hard drive that I'm never going to use, so I don't care. And then we're just going to stick it on here, tape it on. Actually, I'm going to lower it down a bit so it doesn't get in the way of anything. So we're going to tape it on and hope for the best. Okay, so now that that's taped on, you can just put your cables on. They just clip in. And now all we have to do is get this one, find the accordion SATA port, and put it in. Okay, that's an entire gaming PC. Oh, nice. Okay. I'm gonna have to lower down the hard drive. 1 second, please. Okay, so next up we have the graphics card. So basically all you have to do is slot it in, make sure it goes into the correct hole and into the PCI slot. And now you just have to kind of wiggle it in, and there, it's in. So normally someone would use screws, but it looks like I don't have any screws. Wow, okay. I did not prepare for this. So I'm just gonna leave that like that, and don't hate me in the comments because I don't care. Okay, so after duct taping in the hard drive, we're ready to go. So we can just close this up, and I forgot the front cover. Damn it. Okay, now we can close it up and hook it up to a monitor and see what this thing can actually do. Okay, so after a little bit of fiddling with the PC, I pulled out the RAM card and I pulled out the graphics card because the RAM card didn't want to work. So I pulled the RAM card out of my personal gaming PC, so now it has an 8GB stick of DDR3. However, that doesn't break the challenge because that 8GB stick was also found at the dump. And as far as the graphics card comes, I took out the 430 and I put in a GT 1030, which was also found at the dump, but I didn't think it was going to work because it was pulled out of a pretty washed out Dell PC. It had been sitting in the rain. So yeah, the 1030 actually works, and right now we're going to download CSGO and start out with the gameplay. Okay, so we're loaded into CSGO, and I think it's about time to mention, this computer comes with an internal speaker. It's in the front of the case. So if you don't want to spend money on speakers and you want to spend all your money on the peripherals like the monitor and the keyboard and mouse and mic, then yeah, the computer will come with a speaker, but it isn't exactly the best. You might fare better with using some headphones like these or like earbuds. Or my personal speakers I use with my setup, I actually got for I think like $15 at Goodwill, and they're great Sony speakers that have really good bass and they're really loud. Let's load into the CSGO game and see what it looks like. Okay, wow. Okay, these graphics are a massive improvement from my first CSGO video, which was my Lenovo T420. It's running really fast. There's no stuttering. The graphics look amazing. Okay, wow. I knew it was gonna be good, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. I think with the combination of that quad-core i5 plus the fact that it has that 1030 in it, this is actually running really well, and I died. Okay, so now that we saw what CSGO is like, the other game that I played on my laptop when I built it was Borderlands 2. And it ran decent. It was pretty chunky, and it ran at about 25 FPS, so let's download Borderlands 2 and see how it runs. Okay, so we're in the game, and these graphics actually look pretty good. Obviously, the Borderlands 2 graphics from like, what, 2010, 2012. So, I mean, yeah, they look great. So let's get into a game. Okay, so we're in Borderlands 2, and we're in the game, and this is actually looking really nice. We got my rifle, my pistol. This is looking sick. These are some really good graphics for a 1030 and like a quad-core i5 from years ago. So unfortunately, there's no FPS counter. However, this looks really nice. Just playing the game normally is really satisfying. Of course, it doesn't beat my proper gaming PC that has an i7 and a 1060 and 16 gigs of RAM. However, for less than $100, this is a great PC because all these parts were free, and normally they'd cost about $300 for the whole build, but it's actually running really nice and the games look really nice. Like Borderlands 2 on my laptop runs at about 30 FPS on the lowest settings with frame dips every once in a while, but this doesn't even dip at all. This runs really nice. So yeah, that's the gaming test. Let me just see if I can kill anything. Oh, that's weird. I literally have my entire inventory from my PC on here. Ooh, yes. Got him. Having the added bonus of all of my weapons in the same game is amazing. Like, you're not supposed to have weapons this good in one game, but I do. Okay, so playing CSGO and Borderlands, it runs really well. I think, honestly, for a computer that costs less than $100, this is definitely worth the money, because I think the only thing that you would have to buy is the graphics card. There's a really low chance you'd find anything as new as a 1030 in a dump, unless it was a pre-built gaming PC. However, people usually take out the graphics cards and all of the valuable parts they're going to put into their new computer. However, I got lucky with the 1030. You might as well, but the 1030 is about a $75 part, which means if you get one of these Lenovo PCs with some RAM, a core, a cooler, etc. For about less than $80, you can build a pretty decent gaming PC. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Sorry the video wasn't as long as usual. I just wanted to do something quick and short. And also, I am definitely going to release some gaming videos, either Minecraft or Fortnite, or maybe even Forza. But yeah, I'm gonna put out some gaming videos. Definitely not on this PC, but I will release some gaming videos on my big PC. And once I upgrade to a newer laptop, I'll be able to start making gaming videos wherever I want. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe, and see you later.